Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Coco and Daltz. We're your one-stop pop culture shop. We review all the streaming movies and TV shows on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney+. We're real people bringing you real reviews. Har har.
Yeah.
And today's real review is the newish Netflix action movie Project Power, or if you're Canadian like Daltz, Project Power.
So you totally stole my line. I was going to say that. I was going to interpret it for my peeps.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to start over again?
I'm not Coco.
I'm not Daltz.
And so today's episode, as Coco so eloquently put it, Project Power. You can say project and I'll say project. How's that?
Okay. Tomato, tomato.
Right. As we go along, because we're going to reference the title of this movie several times.
Are we, though?
As we do usually during a review. So in this Netflix special deal, Jamie Foxx, I'm going to read it in a movie voice.
Oh, okay.
Jamie Foxx.
In a world
where Jamie Foxx is chasing his daughter. There's a superpower for pills. No, wait a minute. I screwed that up already.
So we do need to start over.
Right. So Jamie Foxx is a guy, he's an ex-soldier who's been betrayed. I slipped right back into it again.
You did.
And he's hunting for his daughter who has been kidnapped by ne'er-do-wells. or maybe the government, I'm not sure. And so this takes place in New Orleans. So there's a lot of subtext underneath that, as you might understand, about the man keeping the people down. And so Jamie Foxx is trying to find his daughter who has been kidnapped by these people. And so the drug on the streets is like a superpower drug. And you take it and you don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be amazing.
Because
sort of like drugs in general, I guess.
The drug gives you weird superpowers.
But not specific to, not the whole same superpower for everybody.
Right, like one guy is bulletproof and one guy is able to vaporize people and things and
another guy is the Human Torch.
Right, and one girl is able to bring things back to life. So it's different superpowers for different people.
What would be your superpower if you took a pill?
I'd like to be able to get a full 8 hours of sleep every night. Like restful sleep every night. If I could, take a pill and have that be my superpower, I'd be so freaking happy.
That's very modest. It's a very modest goal. What's your superpower? Oh, I can sleep on a dime.
Yeah, totally.
They call me Narcoleptic Man.
They call me the human dog because I can I'm asleep before my head hits the pillow.
So I scratch behind your ears and then you're out.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think my superpower would be eat as many cookies as possible without having a heart attack.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, but you already do that.
But the heart attack part.
But that hasn't happened yet, so.
Knock on our studio door here. So there's a lot of back and forth. Jamie Foxx, we don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he being the skinny guy from Inception, and also the
Third Rock from the Sun
with John Lithgow. Right?
Yeah. So,
and he's great. I like him in everything he's in. He was in 500 Days of Summer, which was a nice romantic comedy. And has a great soundtrack, too. He was good. He's the cop. For some unknown reason is wearing a New Orleans Saints jersey through the entire movie. And I don't know if I said to you at one point during the movie, Coco, is like, why the jersey? And you're like, well, maybe he's undercover. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess that could be it. But he still looked like a cop. Like carrying his gun and his badge hanging out on a necklace around his neck. It's like, yeah, I don't understand that. So there's a lot of action in this one. There's a lot of gore in this one. This is a Netflix special, so it's like the ones we've seen before, Old Guard and
Extraction.
Annihilation. Well, yeah, Extraction.
Same thing.
They're all kind of blending one into the other after a while. But I like this one more than I like some of the other ones.
Really?
Because it was ingeniously done. Like, so you take a pill and you get a superpower, and the fact that the government was testing this out on people, and it wasn't really, like, this is a total reality-based reaction to me. It's like somebody develops a drug, they're going to find the poorest place to test it out in.
It's like MK Ultra, sort of.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
And so they took it to New Orleans, which is sort of down and on its luck these days.
It's poor and black, so the government doesn't care about it.
Right. Well, that's the perceived storyline there. And,
Hi, Katrina.
And it was completely believable. Like, it's an unbelievable premise, and they made it believable. And they did a lot of things that I thought were true to form. There were a lot of battle scenes, but the battle scenes weren't traditionally filmed. There was one battle scene where we saw the battle scene sort of from an inside a frozen cage.
That was pretty cool. I liked that scene.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was a unique perspective on just what could have been a typical Jamie Foxx's shooting and knifing people action scene.
I really liked that too, because everything was sort of muffled, like all the explosions and everything like that, and people were getting thrown up against this glass, this shatterproof glass. And meanwhile, the woman in the foreground was struggling with existentialism and trying to survive because she had taken a pill. And I won't spoil what happens to her, but you can probably guess because she's not a star. And she was wearing a red Star Trek jersey.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've been talking a lot, Coco. What did you think of this action-packed flick on Netflix?
It was
Project
fine.
Power.
It was fine. It was. I think it's probably going to be pretty forgettable. It's not. It's very similar to, like you said, the other Netflix action movies we've seen, The Old Guard, Extraction, maybe to a lesser extent Spencer Confidential. Mm-hmm. Like it's not written by the same people, and it doesn't have the same source material, because The Old Guard was based on comic books, and I don't believe this was based on outside material. Right. I think this is just like an original screenplay. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I was entertained for the 1 hour and 53 minutes that it was on, but I thought Jamie Foxx did a really good job. He brought a lot of like gravity to the role. Like, you believed him as the dad. You believed him as the sort of vigilante ex-soldier hunting down the purveyors of these drugs, trying to find his child. Mm-hmm. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a good job. Like, is he a good cop? Is he a bad cop? Like you said, like you weren't really too sure. Like, well, he kind of skirts the line of playing by the rules versus not. There was a young girl who helped out both Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jamie Foxx. Robin, played by
Dominique Fishback.
Yeah, she did a really good job. I enjoyed her. I'm sad that Courtney B. Vance was wasted. He was cast as like a police chief of the New Orleans PD. Dalton and I actually had a conversation about a half hour into the movie where I said, you don't cast somebody of Courtney B. Vance's stature and caliber if he's not going to play a big role in the movie. So I totally thought that he was going to turn out to be like a double agent cop, and you think he's a cop, but it turns out he's the one who's actually running the drugs in New Orleans because they don't know where the drugs came from. And he turned out to not be necessarily on the up and up, but he wasn't like James Cromwell in LA Confidential, who was like the main bad guy. And he was gone after the first 15 or 20 minutes of the movie. So I'm like, that was like an easy payday for him. Right. Like, he came in and he did one day of shooting, and then he was out of there. And so I was kind
of a waste too, because I was looking forward. After we had that conversation, I was thinking, oh, that would be good if he comes back into this, because he's so good.
Yeah, totally.
And he's the police chief, and there's ne'er-do-wells everywhere, so maybe he's involved. So yeah, I was disappointed that we, spoiler alert, that we didn't see much of him in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because he was fantastic in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. He was really good in a movie on Netflix a couple months ago. I think it was called Uncorked. We reviewed it, so please go back in our archive and find that review if you missed it. So yeah, he's good in everything he does. So I was disappointed that we didn't see more of him. Also disappointed that we did not see more of Machine Gun Kelly, who played one of the druggies who is an original test subject for the power pill. For some reason, I'm obsessed with Machine Gun Kelly. So,
or perhaps we should,
or as Daltz thinks he's called, Shotgun Tommy.
All these weapons are all the same,
right? So it was fine. I didn't love it. It was what it was. There were good performances, and the premise was interesting, but it's just like every other action flick we've seen from Netflix for the past couple months.
So where do you rank this among Old Guard, Extraction, and in this one, and Project Power.
I'd say this is my least favorite of the three.
Of the three, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but if I were giving it a letter grade, I'd give it like B- at best. Maybe in the C range, probably.
I liked it because it was original in its execution and its idea, like I said, the premise. And it wasn't just typical smash 'em up. Like, there was some pretty gory scenes in there, and they were pretty gratuitous at points. The other reason I liked it is I was glad to see Jamie Foxx again.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in much lately. I know he's been doing other things, but I haven't been drawn to those projects that he's been doing. But maybe Project Power,
Maybe.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's how much we liked it. We can't even remember the name.
It's kind of got an anonymous name.
Yeah,
like
it totally does.
What is that? I don't know. It's not very intimidating either.
No.
It's like, well, we're going back to school, so let's do a project on power. Oh, okay. What's going to happen? We're going to draw line graphs. It's going to be an exciting movie. So maybe like, the magic pill or pill of destruction. Or something like that. But of course, Jamie Foxx, best known for his work on Mad TV. No. I can't say that with a straight face.
You can't see it, listener, but I'm shaking my head adults right now.
So Ray is probably the best known. He was fantastic in that. Collateral and many, many other movies that you, I'm sure, will be familiar with.
I mean, he's Jamie Foxx. He's been around for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in Baby Driver, which was a great movie. I loved him in Miami Vice, even though it was not Miami Vice the movie, even though that was not a very gripping version of that TV series.
Daltz is the only person who has seen the Miami Vice movie who did not actually review it for a publication upon its release.
Wait, what?
Because we didn't have the podcast back then.
Oh, yeah, right. So it was good to see Jamie Foxx again, and I liked the chemistry that he had with Dominique Fishback.
Yeah, that was really good.
She is this sort of she's an urban youth, I guess you could say, is the stereotypical categorization. And she lives with her mother who's sick, and she needs to buy pills and stuff like that for her. She's going to school, but she's not really invested in school. And she is actually a real driver of this story. She takes a lot of action. There's one of the things I've seen in a lot of these newer movies, which I'm really encouraged by because I have two young daughters, is that the girl who is in it is taking charge and not being the damsel in distress. Mm-hmm. So in the one of the climactic scenes on the ship, Dominique Fishback, who plays Robin, is really an equal player in the rescue of Jamie Foxx and everything like that. So they're all playing equal parts, which is great because it's not, you don't want to portray, even though I'm not going to let my daughter see this because it's completely gruesome. And violence is never good. But it's good to have role models like this where you have somebody who's taken charge and on equal footing and can hold her own. Like she had a rap game that was unbelievable. And so that was really encouraging. I liked that part of this movie too. It wasn't just another, the little girl gets kidnapped kind of thing. And
then she's standing over in the corner while the
shrieking.
Big guys, yeah.
Like, for example, Lethal Weapon, as you know, listener, I'm always holding that up as an example in the canon here. But the daughter, when she gets kidnapped, and she's just like shrieking, and she's just awful. And so things have changed, and I'm glad that the movies are reflecting the change.
You know what didn't change in the movie?
Oh, what?
The day. This is like the longest day in the history of the world. I was noticing that when we were watching the movie. Like at the beginning of the movie, when Rodrigo Santoro brings the power pills to New Orleans, and there's this gang of druggy youths, and including Shotgun Tommy, and he's like, "Here, take these pills. Tell me what you think." That was clearly earlier, but all the main action happened in like one day because
overnight too, right?
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx goes to find Machine Gun Kelly, and then he steals Machine Gun Kelly's phone and texts Robin, and then Robin goes to meet him up at the normal site she meets Machine Gun Kelly at, and it's her phone specifically says 8:08. It's clearly PM, and there's no breaks for the rest of the night. Like everything else happens that one night, and then somehow later than that they're in downtown New Orleans and there's a Saints game. Right. But I can't tell if it was like Sunday night football, which it obviously I don't think was because they were in school earlier that day. So maybe it was Monday night football, but the game just got over, but it was 8:08 earlier. So
Right.
how are all these people downtown?
And it's at night.
And it's at night. So, and then after that, there's the battle and the tank that you can see like Jamie Foxx through, and then after that they get kidnapped and they're taken to a ship, and that's running out of like the port of New Orleans or whatever, and I'm like, this is the longest night ever. Like this is like 24, where time has like no meaning whatsoever. I was like, this is completely unrealistic. One of the many unrealistic things in this movie.
And you're right too, like when the movie is over and the ship is sailing away or whatever it is, there's no sunrise, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, is there even like even bright light coming from the horizon? I don't know.
Well, the ship is still, they escape from the ship in the night. But then later there's like cop ships,
the
like
Coast Guard's sneaking up on them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was it, but it was
a good point.
daybreak anyways. I don't know.
That's a good point. So listener, be careful and don't think that this takes place over many, many years.
Right. This isn't Jamie Foxx is building a case against the government for drugs, and he's putting it together painstakingly to have an airtight case. Like, no,
it's like a Law and Order.
Right, totally. This is just...
It's like, I'm out of here.
Right.
And, well, there is at the end there, after the climax and the resolution is filming out, then panning out, then there is the scene between Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where one of them says, "Do you think this is over?" And then Jamie Foxx is like, "It's over for me," or something like that. Yeah. So to me, it was like, just like at the end of The Old Guard, where we thought, oh, they're setting up for a sequel or a series or something like that. So don't be surprised if something else comes of this one. If the reaction is good enough.
Yeah. I
think they're also kind of protecting themselves with these projects. And if it doesn't fly, then we're not going to make another one. But if it does fly, we'll make another one.
Yeah, totally.
Because we can't come up with any original ideas.
Well, this does seem to be an original screenplay, so at least the germ of the idea was original. But
yeah, and that's my point, is if you get one that's original,
turn it into a franchise.
Yeah, like let's keep doing it. Like, I thought it was really interesting that the pill thing, you didn't know what was going to happen. The guy was going to be the Human Torch, or he was going to turn into a rhinoceros horn, or whatever it was that he was going to do.
Yeah.
And some of them were completely unbelievable. It looked painful. I don't know if I would want to take a superpower pill.
Right. That's why I just want to take a nap.
Yeah, so you want a different kind of pill. I think those pills are actually readily available.
I know. I should just call my doctor.
Right.
Like, I got a tetanus shot yesterday on demand, so why not get some sleeping pills too?
You could probably do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the time of COVID, they're not questioning anything. They're like, you need a tetanus shot? All right, get in here. Boom.
Just get in here and get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch anything.
Here's some pills. Sleep well.
Here's a bucket of pills. Go away.
Right, totally.
So, shell casings or pills, I guess. How many pills would you rank this one?
Oh, well, I already said I gave it a letter grade, so...
Yeah, but we usually don't do letter grades.
I know, but I'll mix it up this time.
Are you're proving difficult? Is today Tuesday?
I'm a woman, so...
So I would say 1.5 pills up.
Wow.
For this one.
Okay.
Because I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was original. The acting was good, too. Like, I didn't... I mean, we tend to review these movies and not spend a lot of time on the acting on these kind of action movies, but the acting was good. I mean, we got Jamie Foxx in there. It's going to be
right.
Good.
You've got an Oscar winner in there. You've got
Joseph Gordon-Levitt
and Courtney B. Vance, even though he was completely wasted. So
and the kid was really good too.
Wasted as in his talent was wasted, not he was hammered.
Not he was on the drugs
right, totally.
that he was trying to chase down. Yeah. It's like, hey man, it's all up to you.
Yeah.
Can you score me some more stuff?
Yeah. No, that's Shotgun Tommy.
That's Shotgun Tommy.
Shotgun Tommy also wasted.
Also known as Machine Gun Kelly.
Right.
Who was in Dirt.
Yes.
That we saw and did not review.
Yeah, which we unfortunately did not review.
Yeah.
So
we're a mixed bag on this one, listener. So maybe watch it, maybe don't watch it.
Yeah.
Eventually we're going to watch like a movie that will be, wandering down the beach and there'll be conversations. Eventually we're going to be not watching shoot 'em ups anymore because we're going to run out of them.
I said to Daltz last night, I was like, you're not a fan of like all these action movies we've been watching, and here we are watching another action movie. Like, sorry about that. Like, oh.
Well, that's because if I suggest a non-action movie, you're like, no, you can watch that one on your own. And I was like, well, then there's not a podcast in there. What's Coco? What's Daltz without Coco?
I didn't even know what Project Power was. Like, I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. So I was like, what's it about? And he told me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I can watch that.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah. So next time I'll pick one that'll be like Poetry in the Garden, starring... No, see, now you like the Ivory Merchant movies, which are
Yeah, I do.
not shoot-em-ups.
And you don't like those.
And I
so-
don't like those.
Yeah,
So
so-
somewhere in the middle, there's got to be like High Fidelity or something like that that'll come back.
Yeah, we should just watch like puppies. Puppies frolicking on screen.
Well, see, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. You didn't want to watch that.
Oh,
so
that's true. Yeah. We'll find something.
We'll find something. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got enough time to look around.
That's true. We're not doing anything else.
So, Coco, do you want to take us out of here?
Yes, I do. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe and listen on whichever platform you do those things on. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, YouTube, Ghana. So if you are in India or have friends or family members on the Indian subcontinent, please let them know that we are available on Ghana.
Holla to Ghana. I hope I didn't offend anybody by just saying that.
Maybe we should cut that out.
Yeah, probably.
And also IMDb. I believe our second and third seasons are on IMDb. Still to come with the first, but you can find that on YouTube or on whichever platform I just mentioned. We will also be coming to Amazon and Audible. We'll be offering podcasts hopefully in the near future. We'll be coming to that, so keep your eyes out on that. In the meantime, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Our handles are Coco and Daltz for both. Please follow us on both. Please send us DMs. Let us know what you want to hear us review in the future, what you think of the podcast. You can also email us those things at cocoanddaltz@gmail.com. And you can find us on the interwebs at cocoanddaltz.com. We are reviewing other things that we are not reviewing on the podcast there, like books and music. And I recently relaunched the Buzz blog, which has sort of my reactions to entertainment news and celebrity gossip that Daltz does not care about. But believe it or not, even in pandemic times, even though we just said we're not doing a whole lot, I'm actually pretty busy, so I don't have a whole lot of time to write a lot of stuff. So it's not like, oh, your breaking news is going to be right here. It's just kind of like, check back for something in a couple days and I'll get around to writing it.
And Coco has a very good style, listener, so you want to read that as much as possible.
You have to say that.
I do, but you're not offering me any money under the table as we speak.
That's true. Just paying your phone bill and your
my medical bill.
Yeah, your Netflix bill and your Disney Plus bill. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're paying the mortgage, so you're coming out ahead.
This might be too much detail for listener.
So on that note, we will wrap things up. Thank
the
you.
music's playing, okay.
Thank you for listening for another episode. I'm not Daltz.
And I'm not Coco.